Scott Taylor is an investigative reporter from Cleveland's WOIO. He's out front, as I know, Scott. You've been on top of this story since the beginning. And now, until now, we haven't heard much about the specifics, the abuse these women suffered. I mean, just even hearing that, it's incomprehensible. What have you been learning about the conditions these girls endured?
Well, Erin, really the first time I heard that, and it is extremely disturbing. It's some of the details that we started to learn when they first got out of the house, that all three girls were brought in the house one at a time. 2002, 2003, 2004, they were attacked right away by Ariel Castro. He continued to beat them throughout the years. And the first couple of years, they actually had them down in the basement and then eventually moved them up. And I think that's what we're going to hear with Dr. Phil in his interview. Also, that Michelle, I believe, shares where he actually grabbed, Ariel Castro grabbed her at that Family Dollar store that we talked about before on Clark Avenue here in Cleveland. He said in his letter in 2004 that he just bumped into her and took her and got her into the house, but we now know that he offered a small puppy to Michelle Knight's little boy. And remember, Michelle and the little boy were separated when he was only 2, and that's the reason why she went into that house to begin with.
Now, Scott, after Michelle was rescued, she was being cared for, I know, for a while by the family of Gina De Jesus, who was also in the house with her. Why is she speaking out alone now? I mean, do you know, was there a falling out with the other 2 women? Because obviously Gina and Amanda are now writing a book together without Michelle.
Well, I think they were all on board at first to make some type of deal for a movie, a book, an interview. I think Amanda Berry was the reluctant one. She finally came on board, but she said, Erin, for quite some time, she really didn't want to talk about it because of her young daughter. She didn't want to affect her young daughter. I think Michelle broke away from the 2 just because she's really independent. She's the one who has been the face of this story. And to begin with, when they first got out of the house, I think she actually was out in public, and we just didn't recognize her. Remember, we didn't see all 3 girls until months later in that video. And then when I walked into that sentencing trial for Ariel Castro, I still didn't recognize Michelle because she is a very tiny woman. So I understand that she was able to walk out around in public for quite some time before the other 2 girls were confident enough to go out. And I also know that she was being housed outside of Cleveland at somebody's home, and I believe she's still there. So she wasn't really in Cleveland where the media could pounce on her like the other 2 young ladies.
All right, well, Scott, thank you very much. We appreciate your taking the time. And still out front, news just in on the latest on the shooting at Los Angeles airport. Did police miss stopping this attack by just minutes?